Hi guys, welcome to the channel. I'm the Rusty Cashew and today I'll be showing you one of my projects. This is a 190E that's going to be converted into a display piece, something that I'll be keeping in my office slash man cave. It started off as a car that I saw on OLX. A friend wanted to purchase it. It was about 5 minutes from my house, somewhere in the same village. And I went to see it. It was completely shot. It was bad. The rust was running through it. The floor was gone. It was put together with rivets and aluminium sheets. And the rear had an SLS system. That's a self-leveling system for the suspension, where hydraulic fluid goes into these little balloons and they raise and lower the car based on the load. What happens is a lot of this stuff fails over the years and people gut this and put in a normal suspension, but these guys did it all wrong and the car was sagging in the rear. Apart from that, the fuel injection system was failing. It was not running at all, and the automatic transmission was also giving a lot of problems. These two components, if they're not fixed and they're not getting fixed, they would require replacement, which would cost far more than the value of a car. So apart from that, there were a lot of problems with the car. Its interior was bad and it just made no sense at all. It would cost more to fix that car than you could get a good one in the market. So a lot of people are saying that what I'm doing is sacrilege and it's wrong and you shouldn't do this to a nice car, especially when they're so rare. But you don't see those same guys picking up any of these. What happens is there's so much money that would end up going into this that you could probably get a better car in the market and put in a little and you'd be much happier. But in this case, you'd have to put so much effort that it's just not worth it. And the total of the cost and the effort just far exceeds what a good car in the market would cost. So after I saw the car about a few months later, I happened to be heading home and I saw the car in a gutter. It was stuck in the gutter on a slope and my mechanic flagged me down. I was in my old Golf, which sounded like a truck back then, and he flagged me down. He said, could you help me get it out of this gutter? And he was trying to track down the owner of this car as well, who stayed about 2 minutes from my house. So what I did was I headed home. I helped him get the car out, and we kept it at my place for a while. He said it would take about 2 weeks for the owner to come back and take the car, but it ended up turning into 2 years and the owner never came to pick up the car. I had to track down the owner because by that point the car was so bad and I needed it moved and nobody wanted to take it. No one was taking responsibility. It was stuck on my property. So I thought, okay, I'll just pick it up, I'll buy it, and I'll see what I can do with it. At that point, I realized that it couldn't be saved. The paperwork was too bad and no one wanted to buy it off of me. So I ended up parting it out. I sold a few parts off of it, but I kept the rear end because I thought I'd make something out of it. My initial plan was making the rear end into a trailer, something that I could store stuff in, maybe take to car shows and stuff like that, and tow it with my 123 wagon. And that idea kind of fizzled out later on, seeing that handling something like that on the road isn't so practical. It's quite difficult handling trailers in India, and they're illegal. So you won't be able to get away from the cops when they're trying to chase you. I also thought of making a sofa out of it, like you see online, but I think too many people have done that already. So I thought, hey, what the heck, I'll try something new. So what I'm doing with this is I'm learning how to work with sheet metal, and I've been far too reliant on tin workers, tinsmiths, and or charis as we call them. And what happens is when you need something done or something that's not so important to look good, like something in the on the structural side, you can probably do it yourself. That's why I picked up the MIG welder. I thought, okay, what the heck, why don't I just try this on my own? It's worth a shot. So this is my first attempt. I thought I'd start off with the hidden stuff that you won't see on the floor of this thing, and then I'll move on to the top. This isn't so important. This isn't going to be a car that's going to be used. It's just something that I'm learning from. I'm going to be learning how to MIG weld a car and sheet metal and figure out things from here. There are plenty of things that I got wrong, and I'm just trying to figure them out. For one, for example, I realized after talking to a friend that I got some things wrong with the gases. I should be using a mix of argon with the carbon dioxide. Right now I'm using straight 100% carbon dioxide. But when you're using a MIG welder on sheet metal, you should be using 75 to 25 carbon dioxide to argon mix. That is what you should be using to reduce the penetration of the arc. So apart from the MIG welder, which has been a beautiful machine to pick up, I'm really happy with it. Apart from that, there are a few other things that I've been using in this video. I've been using an angle grinder. I did have a small accident while using it, and from now onwards I'll be far safer. I'll be using a set of safety goggles. I'll show you what I'm using now. I thought, okay, what the heck, I don't want something flying in my eye again and struggling with that for days. And yeah, apart from that, I've been using my bending brake. That is something that I made myself. So the bending brake is basically an angle with a bar connected to it and a hinge, and you slide in the metal into this little slot that you can tighten and loosen, and you use this angle with the bar to bend it. So you can go further than 90 degrees and make that angle even sharper depending on how thick the metal is. You might, like in this case, I had some problems with the flooring metal. It was far too thick and far too heavy, so I had to give it a slight slit, and then I was able to easily bend the metal with the bending brake. This is a jig that I made, like a lot of the other stuff that I've made to make things easier. So I would want to make more of this stuff, and if I'm making another one of these or upgrading this machine, I would want to make a few videos on it. Whenever friends come by and I'm working on something new, or using a new machine, or I've made something new, I love to show it to them, and some friends love to try this out. That's really something important. People have to try these new technologies and stuff like that. They're not really new, it's just that they were probably too expensive for the Indian market for so long, and they finally come in. People are now using MIG welders and other such jigs to work, and it's really important. The thing is, manual labor is getting more respect nowadays, apart from before, and people are spending more on this type of labor. Tinsmiths and other such skilled labor are costing more every day. That's why DIY is so common in the US, in Europe, because manual labor is so expensive. If you want to get something fixed, if you want to get your house fixed, plumbing, a little bit of carpentry, maybe metal work, or fix your car, it's so expensive. So people just resort to trying to learn the basics themselves. So that's what I'm doing here. That's what I love to do. I love to try to learn these things on my own and figure them out. So now that I've tried this out, I'm pretty sure that some things have gone wrong. There's a lot more left on this still. I might have ran the voltage wrong, the current wrong, something must have gone off. I'm pretty sure of it. But without trying it out, we can't know if we're capable of learning, if we're capable of doing it at all. How good are we at it? We have to try. That's the only way, and that's what DIY is about. It's about trying something and knowing how far you can take it. So it seems like I'm done with my rant. We're at the end of the video. And now I'll show you guys what this thing looks like at the end of it. There's still a lot more to go, but this is where I'll stop for today. This is this week's progress. Maybe in a week or two I'll try to finish off the back end, the sides, maybe the top, and I'll 3D print some parts for it, like the body kit. So here's what the progress looks like after a week. On and off work on this, was working on a few other things. Over here you can see my first repair. It was a little L-shaped section. It turned out quite well. I was really happy with this one. The second one, not so much. It was a little challenging because I had to bend this, and this area got a little too thin and I burned through. So when I try this out, I'm gonna have to do a better job. Then I did this over here. It looks like I used the wrong type of metal. I thought it was some other material I had lying around from a roof sheet of a car. It turns out it was another type of roof sheet altogether. But yeah, worked out okay. Then I tried to address this. It still needs a bit of grinding. There was a massive hole over here. As some guys say, you have to be a good grinder more than a good welder. So this hole has to be knocked down, and it's okay, it's not too bad for a first try. Over here we have another section. This is the one that my friend Clayton was working on, and I cleaned it up, put in a few more welds, and today I was doing this. So this is just before you knock down the welds. This is how they look. It's okay, it's not too bad, good for a first try. It's penetrated. Over here it looks like there's no problem of adhesion, and after that I'm gonna have to make this edge. I'm thinking of making a body kit on this just for fun, to show you guys how that happens. Next up I'll be addressing this bit over here and this area, the whole tail light section, the dicky section, and last but not least the windshield area and the area that holds the hinge for the dicky. So stay tuned for some more updates. Let me know what you guys think about this. Like, subscribe, share, do the whole thing. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time.